Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Let's get our business out of the way, sir.
Well, we have our 10-year live ACT anniversary show coming up, which our next guest is going to be performing at.
I'm really stoked about this, man. It's going to be awesome.
Doing stand-up at the beginning of the show. Of course, we go on at 7 to 9.
Yes.
And tickets are $10, and you can get them at tomanddan.com.
50 seats left, maybe, if you want to grab
Yeah.
So I would get on those tickets.
Yeah,
it is at the Wayne Dench Performing Arts Center, the Ritz Theater there.
In Sanford,
Sanford, you can just click on the website and get your tickets.
May 31st. Vince Taylor's here.
Yo,
how you doing, Vince?
What it do? I'm back. Thanks for giving me the address.
Let me give you a blast. There you go. I forgot to do that. I also felt bad that, like, something's happening with me where people will send me emails and then it will take me a long time to reply. And thank you so much for replying to him, because I saw the email come through and it's like, help. And I was like, I was doing nothing. Not even looking at it.
Do you know the pain of being on the way to somewhere that you don't know where it is?
Yes. Tom does this all the time. Like I'm
you
not.
have to, am I kidding? If someone doesn't reply, you have to just stop and then go back home because there's nothing you can do.
I'm halfway down Turnpike and I'm like, where am I going?
We're different. If I have a doctor's appointment, and I've done this before, and I really do this. If I have a doctor's appointment that I'm nervous about, this is real crazy. So let's say I have orthopedic, right? I'm going for my knee, and I don't know where I'm going, and it's in Oviedo. I don't know Oviedo. I'll drive, if I got the time, the day early. I'll drive over there, scope out the parking. Okay, there it is. I see it's on the right-hand side. I'll come on back. I'll hit it in the morning.
Stupid.
This guy, he'll wait until ready to go, and then it'll be his appointment will be at 3. It'll be 2:55, and he's printing out MapQuest already. So we have the extremes.
Oh yeah, the MapQuest is a bit.
We have the extremes here. You'll wait to the last minute before you. Before he'll be like, he did it today. You were like, you'll do it on a Zoom meeting. You'll be like, where's my link for my Zoom meeting? I'm like, your meeting's right now.
Yeah. I'll wait to the last minute at all times with everything.
Procrastination.
And I'll waste time going over a day early.
Yeah, well, I ain't gonna lie, Dan, that's a little overkill. Like scouting the place like a day in advance.
Yeah.
Like,
but
unless you're robbing
it's anxiety.
It's his anxiety because his anxiety will be so bad driving there without knowing that it'll ruin his
But
entire
there's
time.
Google Earth, there's satellites, there's like a whole internet. You know what I'm saying?
It's wrong all the time, though. It's wrong.
He has to see it with his eyes.
Yeah, you have to go feel the dentist office, right?
I don't trust it.
So Vince, it's been a little bit since the last time we talked to you.
2023.
What? It's been 2023. Was it last year?
Happy New Year.
What year?
Couple of solar eclipses ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you stare at it?
I did directly.
What'd you think?
I thought, where are my superpowers? Because I ain't gonna lie, like between me and y'all, like I know I'm kind of the geek on here or whatever.
Sure.
There used to be this show called Heroes way back in the day. You remember that? Siler, Peter Petrelli, all that. I could not stop thinking about this show during the entire eclipse and wondering if I was gonna get powers or not. Like
the cheerleader.
Save the cheerleader, change the world. Hero.
She was the worst one.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't even like the cheerleader. I like the fat Asian.
Hold on. First of all, yes, Hero Nakamura was really cool, especially when he had his thing. But the cheerleader, don't sleep on her. She was jumping off of stuff, breaking her neck, getting right up. Just imagine what you get. Let me stop right there.
I remember when that show blew up. People were like Hayden Panettiere or what?
Yes.
Like, people were like, "This is the coolest thing we've ever seen on network TV."
Yeah.
And why did it drop off so quickly?
Because the next few seasons were trash. that first season, it had the first breakout season. We were all like, "Oh my God, Heroes! I want to be a part of." Because it's like off-brand, like in the midst of Marvel, DC, all these other companies trying to matter. Here comes this off-brand show with the dude who just makes it up based on an eclipse, and it kills. Now my thing is, it really did center around an eclipse, and when you see it, like the whole logo is based on it. Yeah. So when you see it, you're like, okay, this thing might happen. I'm sitting here wondering, like, if we did have a real life hero situation, and y'all were to wake up and get superpowers, which ones would y'all pick?
Invisibility. I go right for
I was gonna say that.
Everybody knows it. Invisibility. I go right for everybody's shower. So while everybody,
that was my dream.
And like the world, there's rockets falling, and I'm just in your shower waiting for you to bend over and pick up your loofah so I can
And everybody's listening to this. You're not safe.
No one's safe.
Everybody we know, our friends' wives.
Oh my God, everybody.
People we work with,
old
people
ladies,
we used to work with.
Old ladies, young
be in your
ladies.
shower.
Children are off limits. Children. I would not. Yeah, that's just sick and twisted.
Wow. I'm glad you added that.
Everybody else. Well, because it's a real. You wanted me to answer it honestly.
Now you thinking about it.
Your grandmas?
Grandmas
good.
Grandmas are some of the best.
Yeah. Hey,
and it's good that we're in there because what if they fall?
Hey.
I'll save them while I'm peeking.
That is cool. Is
it? It's kind of disgusting.
They will fall on my boner.
What about you, Tommy? Any superpower?
No. He stole mine.
He stole yours.
We're so both unoriginal. We're both perverts.
It's just what it be in the showers.
You can be my sidekick and have the same power.
Yeah. Like,
what if you had that? What if you had the same powers?
I want to be your sidekick.
Like, you can stand in the shower.
The invisible men.
Yeah, the invisible men. And we just stand in people's showers together.
No, I don't want to be in the same room. Yeah, I don't want to be in the same room.
You can't see my boner. It's invisible.
I can hear it.
You can't hear it. I'll turn the sound off.
No, I can hear you huffing and puffing.
I hear you breathing on my neck. Is that you? Is that me?
Is there another invisible man in here? Hammerhand? I can hear you breathing.
Put some suds on your fingers. I see. Hold on, he would have echo. If there's another invisible man in here, put some suds on your fingers so I can see it.
I'm not joking. I've gone so far in this fantasy when I was a kid to the point where I was like, you know what will happen is that they'll leave and shut the door, and then I'll be stuck in there all night, and I'll have to sleep on the bathroom mat. Nude.
You can't open a door?
Yeah, wow.
Well, no, because then they'll know if the door opens. They'll be like, what? Who's in here?
You've never had a draft open a door before?
No.
I just assume it's people leaving my shower.
You're missing the important part, which is that this is premeditated invisibility that Tommy's talking about. This is something he's been thinking about.
It's a crime.
He just said, well, when I was a kid, what I would think is, oh, would it be so great if so this is contemplated. You've actually put a plan together.
Yeah, you're like the lowest level bad superhero from The Boys. From The Boys, right? Because they're all like bad, immoral superheroes. You're like Homelander. Or like
yeah.
You're like masturbatory Homelander.
I think his name was Translucent. There was a dude named Translucent.
And it always bothered me that you had to be nude to be completely invisible. Because I grew up in the what was that?
When I grew up, you didn't have to be. When I grew up, you could wear a fedora and be invisible. Wrap yourself in bandages.
In the good old days, we just put hoods on and we were invisible.
No hoods here.
No, I'm talking about.
No, sir.
What was that movie where he had to wrap himself in bandages?
Dark
Man, yes. Liam Neeson.
I very much enjoyed Dark Man.
Yeah.
It was terrifying because wasn't he he was also screwed up? I thought. Like he was invisible, but he also was disfigured, which is why I think he bandaged.
I don't know if he was invisible. I think he was just messed up. He was like a severe burn victim, but he had all of these he had no will to live. So he was just willing to be an all-out action star. But the funny part is, this is one of the few movies where he doesn't end up being benevolent in the end. He's like some psychomatic killer at the end, which I love that part.
Messed him up,
so maybe that does suit
Tommy. It turned him. Yeah, that was a jerk. I remember I wanted to watch that movie so bad, and it was one of those times where my dad acquiesced, and he's like, all right. So he got it. He went up to Box Office Video and got the VCR tape. Came back and we popped in. I remember we watched it. It's a pretty dark movie.
Yeah,
I remember both of us. It was one of those movies at the end. It wasn't like Delta Force where we're high-fiving.
No.
We were more like, whoa.
Yeah.
We were like, whoa.
I did not
miss the donut and get some glazed donuts, boy. We need a cleanse our palate.
Dark is in the title.
Yeah.
It is Dark Man.
I think he kills some people.
Yeah, family members actually. Yeah, man. So invisibility. I remember being a jit, as they say in Florida, which just means it just means young adult.
He was a baby.
For those, and I used to think about that too. What would I do? Would I be the perv, in the the locker room, the Revenge of the Nerds type thing, or would I just kind of use it to go to the bank and would make a withdrawal?
Yeah. Or just slip out of places that you don't want to be anymore. What would your choice be?
I thought about this long and hard, and I think I came up with. Right now, X-Men 97 is playing on Disney Plus.
Hell yes,
one
it
of the
is.
dopest.
I was showing my sons that the other day, and there's something that is gratifying about Tommy was watching. I turned, I was like, X-Men.
Thank God he's watching it.
Yes.
Well, give that kid a raise on his allowance.
Yeah, indeed.
it was something gratifying to me about him watching a cartoon in the same vein as I watched when I was his age.
Exactly.
Like the same animation, same story,
same voice actors.
Yeah, like
Yeah, they really put a lot of time and effort into that. And I'm blanking on the gentleman's name. He happens to be black, right? That rebooted all of it.
Oh, Bishop.
Yeah.
That's one of the X-Men.
Yeah, I thought there was a guy that was really like, he was like, no, we're sourcing all the real actors and we're gonna draw them the same way and we're gonna do this like the way that I grew up watching it. I don't know if it's the creator or whomever's taking it on now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who I'm talking about, but I know it's this black guy, and I'm pretty sure he's the guy that like.
Is a head, like,
I trust you on that. You're
I may be wrong on that because also comedian Tony Baker is real big on the show.
Yeah.
And he's the one that I learned from that he was like, look, I'm going to prove to you all that Rogue didn't have that big booty. and he went back into the old source material, and he was like, it was just that one frame. Here's her flying in 25 different areas. There's no big booty. It's not like, and I was like, he's good. Like,
man, I'm going to tell y'all, Rogue didn't have no big booty like that, man.
That's pretty damn good, man.
Man, let me tell y'all, I went back and I looked at all of the old X-Men cartoons, and she didn't have that cake that, man.
She did not have it. But I learned it from him.
But for me, I would be Morph. Morph, he can be anybody, anytime. And also, he has their powers, too. And I thought about that. Like, why be one person with one set of powers when I could, at any point in time, I could have pulled up in here today and been David Jolly. Would have won everybody's heart over.
That's
You would have had no idea. Like, hey,
hold on. That's cheating. That's like wishing for unlimited wishes.
That's right. That's right. No, it is cheating. And I claim it. And nobody said I couldn't do it. Where's the rule book?
The whole question is picking one superpower and then explaining why. You can't just be more for like, I'll have all the superpowers.
Ain't nobody tell me I couldn't.
Oh, damn.
So
EJ's telling me that guy got fired. Bo DeMaio?
Yeah, Bo. Yeah. Bo at the beginning. Yeah, Bo DeMaio did. Yeah.
I thought he was the guy that was kind of instrumental.
Yeah, he was.
He's like, I'm going to do this right.
Yeah, he got fired. That's crazy. Yeah, before it even dropped. But there's I don't know all of the information behind it, but I do remember that being of note.
Yeah, it's just cool to see. Do you feel like, I mean, obviously you do your show. Please plug it if you don't mind.
Yeah, The New Blurred Order on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Are you finding that, because one of the topics that I even shared it in my stories, you were talking a little bit about how some big companies or big studios feel like they're taking a step back when they put like a black leading actor, or like, is that still?
That is definitely a thing. I mean, look, I don't mind if a movie's trash, you can call it trash, but don't prejudge it just because of the lead characters. Like, I saw it happen with the Marvels. Marvels wasn't the greatest movie, no, but before it even got a chance to hit, everybody was just, oh, it's woke. I get the woke thing. I get it, guys. I mean, look, I consider myself, let me not lose your audience, but I just don't like. I know where I'm at. I know who's listening. Don't stop the F-150 now. I know you listen. But yeah, I just don't like when they don't give them an opportunity. Like, there's a trash show called Iron Fist that was one of the Netflix shows with Marvel where there was Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Punisher, and the Iron Fist was led by Danny Rand, and it didn't get no blowback for being woke, but the show was trash. Meanwhile, like these other shows, just because there's a black or a woman lead, like they think that just because they're putting that person there that they're catering to some other. But it's like, yo, we have the entire Hollywood history of mostly non-black and women leads. So I'm just saying, like, give them a chance. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to like it, but just don't accuse it of being like too pandering.
I think that's
you know
fair.
What I'm saying? Yeah, if it's trash, it's still trash. I'm not going to say it's not trash, but don't give it the whole wokeism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just let it be a movie.
Agree. Don't label it. Just leave it alone and watch it.
Yeah, if it's good, it's good, no matter who's in it.
Exactly.
And then if it's good writing and good characters, then it's good. And I think everybody kind of feels that way to the most part.
For the most part.
But then, it's like it goes back and forth and everything's politicized and everybody's arguing.
Well, if that's what your identity is, that's what you'll find when you're looking, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Just step back.
And you got to understand, like, the people, the anti-woke people, whatever, where they're like, I'm tired of it being shoved down my throat. But you got to understand the history of where we, how everything was just like, there's a white princess and the white prince and there's like everything's whitewashed. And it's like, hey, because if you have everybody in there, then people won't grow up with that feeling like something's changed. Like the people that grew up in the 80s, 90s, 70s or whatever, they feel that everything's changing because that's the way they grow up.
Yeah.
So it's like you are almost indoctored into what you think, and the change is messy, and then you're rebelling against the change, but that's what history has always done.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Look at that vocabulary on time.
He's been reading.
And now more than ever, you have an unlimited things to view and listen to and watch. There's unlimited content
out
there.
What have you been watching recently?
What are people even complaining about? Like, I don't like this show. Who the hell cares?
I mean,
there's a million shows.
I get it, and I'm not gonna be here too long because I don't want y'all to be accused of being woke. So we're gonna get about it.
No, you're fine.
I don't even actually know what that means.
I don't either. Like, I'm like,
I get the accusations.
I just see the meme like,
I get it. But yeah, I mean, that is something like when you see like a character that's, I remember like there was this really, it wasn't a great movie, Mac and Me. Y'all are from my area. Mac and Me was this kid in a wheelchair.
Loves Mac and Me. What are you talking about?
Yeah, all right, so
I love a good doo-doo alien. That's what Mac is. Any alien that looks like a doo-doo.
But the thing that we don't realize about that is like, as much as it may not have been a big deal for us, some kid in a wheelchair somewhere was like, I feel seen. You know what I'm saying? Just because.
Isn't there a scene where he goes flying off?
He goes off of a cliff. Yeah,
he's in a wheelchair.
He goes up, of course you remember that scene. But yeah, so I'm not. Look, I get it. But at the same time, a show is a show, a movie's a movie. It is what it is. And when you go down the history, like one of the most rewarding things about going to Comic Cons after like Black Panther and a couple of like Into the Spider-Verse came to be, and you asked me what I'm watching right now. There's a Spider-Verse short that I think everybody should watch. But one of the most rewarding things was going to our local con, MegaCon, and seeing young boys that look like Tommy and Dan dressed up as Black Panther and Miles Morales, and that's what you like. We
with
have
the
been dressing
makeup
up
on their face.
Well, not the face, the mask.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, we would have definitely had a talk with the parents about that but that's where it goes. Like the full cyclical ability
Black
of like
Panther
people.
was badass.
It was crazy dope. I mean, even though some people have some complaints about it, I love the fact that we can all be any of these characters, no matter what our races are. But just because some others are coming into the fray doesn't necessarily mean that they're taken away from any. Loki's still dope.
There's no taking away. Like Tom said, there's plenty of other things to watch.
I had to
plenty of seats at the table.
I had to explain to my sons why you can't paint yourself black or any other color, and it is a confusing.
His kids are obsessed with it.
Well, they don't.
They go to school every morning dressed black.
they
was I not supposed to talk about that?
It's because if you think about the explanation,
and he got him greasy.
It's confusing.
He got him these greasy Easy E wigs. so they're like they're late '80s, early '90s.
Who was into my 6'4"?
Like Crenshaw and Slauson.
Crenshaw, no.
Like wigs.
Your kids pour out 40s.
He makes them wear the X shirts.
They got like a backpack. There's a little handle for their old English right on the side pack. Yeah, I'm with it, bro.
It's all late '80s, early '90s black stereotypes. Is what it sounds like to try to
F the police.
I'm like, you cannot paint your skin darker. And they're like, why? I'm like,
Boone's Farm.
I started explaining the history, and then I'm like, this happened. It was real bad, and then and they're like, okay, but they're like, I like this character. I want to look like him, and I'm like,
wrong set of dice. You got the wrong dice. Let's watch this Mac and Me.
You can't wear this Easy wig though.
Well, you just look like Kenny G. You look like Kenny G.
Wigs are not a thing.
Yeah.
You can wear any wig you want.
Here's Mac and Me. We're gonna just do this real quick, just to lighten the mood.
Oh yes.
Here it goes.
Right. Yep. A little faster, please.
Kid in a wheelchair going.
Yep. All right, no.
The music of this is good, man.
Yeah.
The break.
Gravity.
Ooh. Oh man, that's fantastic,
dude. There's
that is fantastic.
I miss the days
when you could throw a dummy off
the dummy off of a bridge.
We can't do that no more.
No, just
people don't like it, but I love
it.
It
looks so
I
fake.
Oh man!
And then now you see it; it's almost comical because of how fake it looks. But in the '80s, that was that was the height of special effects.
That was $1 trillion effect. Right there. That was the entire
dummy in a wheelchair.
All of Amblin Entertainment it took to put that together, man.
What else have you been been watching, man?
Man, I've been on the X-Men. I ain't gonna lie. I've also been watching this thing, Halo. Halo's a fairly decent show for the video game. And video games and anime are getting pretty good representation right now. They had the Avatar Last Airbender live action release that I thought was fairly decent. And they're also talking about a live action Naruto. And if anybody knows Naruto, bro, that is like a classic show. They even have Naruto theme parks that they're opening up in Japan. But Halo's pretty cool. I'm also kind of getting into, they just started playing Star Trek. I don't know if y'all are into Star Trek, but it's the last season of Star Trek Discovery, which is the only Star Trek that has a black woman as a captain of the Enterprise in Sonequa Martin. So Michael Burnham is her name on there. That's I love it. They also reintroduced Spock. You get to see a young Spock with a goatee and a beard and all of that. And I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
what streaming service is that on?
That one is on, it's called Paramount. All right, it used to be called CBS.
Yeah, Paramount Plus.
Yeah, Paramount Plus. You know what I'm saying? It's decent. You know, if you want those, do you subscribe to all of those joints? Because I know it gets a little, it gets a little annoying after a while.
Because of kids, you know, like it's like if
mine was football. I had to. Yeah. They're like, it's only on Paramount Plus. I'm like, God damn it! I'm like, I'm addicted to gambling, so I have to watch this. And then they make me sign up. I go, I put my email, and then I'm like, I'm gonna cancel this in a month when the NFL season's over. I forgot it. It's still paying for nothing.
We got all of it. Like I got all the dumb shows, and then. Like lately, the one that I was going to ask you about is the what's that new one? It's an alien thing.
Oh,
it's coming out on Netflix.
Oh.
Like, is it out now?
Ooh.
That where it's like a master race of aliens, and they consider us to be like insects.
Oh,
is it a cartoon or is it
a
series?
It's a series.
It's not. Invasion.
Somebody might know. I don't.
Come through conversation.
Is it along the same lines as what was that 1980s or 90s show? Oh, V.
V? Yeah, I love
where
V.
there's aliens amongst the humans.
I followed that. That was like a coming of age. That was like one of the first series.
Yeah.
That like as a nerd, that was coming on TV. My mom and dad weren't interested in it. They knew it was like kind of scary.
Yeah.
And I was of age where I could watch it. They would allow me to, and I'd watch it alone by myself. On my own little tiny, I had a little tiny, like a 12-inch.
By myself.
And I'd go in there and sit on my bed and have like my drinks and everything, and I'd watch V. It terrified me thinking that they were like, they would eat the mice. And
and they're like lizard people.
They were lizard people, and it was like at the time. I know I sound like a country bumpkin idiot, but it was terrifying.
Yeah, well, listen, Dan, they used to rip their faces off.
Yeah,
like literally on TV.
But it was
like
horrible. It looked like plastic.
Rip off the entire face. As a 6-year-old boy, you're like, I can do that. You know what
I'm
saying?
I remember watching that show, and then I also thought that and there's another thing. It was twofold because like I was terrified of it and eating the mice and the ripping the face off. But the main lady was the main V. She was the main alien. And she was the queen. And she was that made me a man. I was like, man, I'm terrified, but I don't know what I'm gonna do because I don't know that yet. I want to do something. That lady's making me feel something. I want to be her. I want to be her human slave.
I want the V.
I guess it's HPVVD, whatever it is. Yo, man, I swear I was like, he's going really into this whole. I was in a room by myself on a box.
But I remember looking at that lady and being like, she's very that alien woman has her breasts out.
She's making me feel things. And they redid that show too, and the reboot was actually really good. I liked it. It didn't do well. It didn't get a lot of numbers. I still blame Paramount because at the time CBS, they're still trying to charge everybody instead of just giving away the service. Like, you know, ABC, NBC, you just download the app or whatever, watch it. But CBS was like, nah, you download it, you pay $5.99 for access. So V ended up suffering as a result. Star Trek ends up suffering. There's like 3 different Star Treks out. There's Star Trek Discovery. There's the one with Captain Pike, which I think is called Strange New Worlds, and then there's another one with Picard, which just ended. All of these shows aren't getting any play because they're putting a paywall behind it. But yeah, oh man, see, we get me nerded up, man. I forget about the fact that so yeah, man, I would love to see V done right. It was such a and if this is the kind of show that you're saying is going to come on Netflix, then I'm game for it.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I think the catchphrase I saw, it's like they're like we're like the insects, and they're like take over, and then we're like.
So that reminds me kind of one last thing real quick. There's a show called Invincible on Amazon Prime.
It's one of my favorites. I've been trying to get this guy. I've been begging him to watch it. He hates cartoons.
Oh, my God.
He hates cartoons. I told him it's the most violent thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm talking blood spilling, JJ.
Like stuff that will, like, I've turned off episodes of Invincible, the train. That's all I'm going to say. I turned off the train episode. I sat there. I looked over at Andrea, and I go, that changed my life.
No, if you think that The Boys and Gen V is good, then this is like an animated, even more violent version of it. Like it's.
But the story
ridiculous.
is good because the ultimate conflict. Imagine this, and that's why I think the story would be good for you because you're a dad of boys, right?
Yeah.
Imagine being this boy's son, and imagine you're the ultimate super guy, right?
Yeah.
We'll leave the morals up to whatever you want to throw on it because who's to say, right? Different races, different cultures, different people, they believe different things. Not all of them are correct based on everybody else's set of rules. But imagine if at one point it came down to you fighting your son.
Yeah, man.
And your son's trying to stop you from doing something you think is perceived bad, and you're trying to stop him from just being another casualty because you are the all-seeing, all-being, strongest person in the universe, man.
It's a cartoon, though.
It's still a great story. It's such a good story, man.
No cartoon will ever make me feel anything except for the
Roger
movie.
Rabbit.
No. Cool
Jessica
World.
Cool World.
I knew it was
Hollywood.
Yeah, which changed me for life. That made me a man, and it gave me the fantasy of having intercourse with a cartoon, which I still have. It's harder to run my head around it now as an adult, but
weird.
I
feel like cartoons, if they're grinding on you, would be light. Right? I feel like if she's backing that up.
Yeah, I need some weight.
Yeah, if she's graining on that wood, I feel like I would be like, I can't feel you. You're a cartoon. Go pick up one of those hand weights in the gym and come back.
It's like a ghost.
Exactly.
Oh my
How
God.
would you know?
You
wouldn't know.
Man,
although the second thing that changed my life was Ghostbusters Ghost Job, which Dan Aykroyd.
What'd you think of Ghostbusters? We got a little bit of time.
No, the old 1980s Ghost Job, where Dan Aykroyd got the Ghost Job.
Oh, the Ghost Job, where she hovered over the bed and the pants were unzipped.
I like how they make an action figure of that. It's just like it's a see-through. It says Ghost Job, and then it's just like a see-through package, and then there's just one little napkin.
Oh,
and then
man.
From that day forward, I never feared ghosts again.
Because
I was like, I wish there was a ghost here for a ghost job.
But until your mom comes in to wonder why there's so much plasma on the ceiling, right? This is crazy.
Yeah, because even in my mind, and that's when I became okay with anything. Was because I was like, if there was a ghost,
they're not here to hurt us. They're not here to hurt us.
Well,
just stand still.
Well, then I was like, I'm not gonna ask this ghost if he's a man or a woman.
Oh my God! His ghost name is Robert.
I'm like, just don't say it.
No teeth, Robert.
This could change the way you feel about both of us, Vince, but I too agree with Tom on that. I do not question the gender of ghosts. If I were in the woods and Slender Man's running at me, and then he proceeds to pull my pants down,
a ghost is a ghost. Well, what you all haven't considered is just because they're ghosts doesn't mean they're good at it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
What? How do you tell a
but
ghost?
it's like pizza. It's like, I'll take it.
And then I remember I was like, even if it's Slimer, I'll let him do it.
You like it with all of the
I like big girls.
Like, what is that? And then I was like,
Slimer's just a big girl.
Yeah. Just a couple pounds.
I think it's actually, is there Slimer a male? They don't actually
I don't think he
specify.
has a gender. But I'll tell you what, you put him in some apple bottom jeans and I'll start dancing with him at T's and Q's.
Now when I see Slimer, I'm picturing him in like a tank, like a dress. You know what I'm saying? Like a little tube top.
Dress.
You know what I'm saying? A little cleavage in between. You know what
Put him in a sundress with no bra.
I've never in my life thought Slimer, what that mouth do? Like all of a sudden that's going through my head.
He has no teeth. Or does he have teeth? I think he has teeth.
He does have teeth, and they're big hippo teeth.
Yeah,
big beer can.
But there's a lot of space between those teeth. You know, so you guys should be okay.
And I don't think he has a lot. You're correct. And I don't think he has a lot of good hygiene in there.
Who needs it?
You're gonna have to use a condom.
But I've seen what he can do with it. I've seen what he can do with a Snickers bar.
And doesn't he have sex with Finn Wolfhard in the new Ghostbusters movie? Or he gets slimed. I think that kid gets slimed.
Was that the one that went to theaters, or was that just the one you watch in the bathroom?
No, the new one. The
frozen thing.
I don't recall Slimer getting any action.
I thought that kid, because the whole Ghostbusters has now just become Stranger Things. Right? It's Stranger Things, and then Paul Rudd's flopping around in there, and then you got Bill Murray, and then you got Ernie. Ernie Hudson on that tee.
Yeah.
My
Ernie
God.
Hudson he's bigger than he's ever.
Yeah.
He's ginormous. He's also 89 years old, and he looks younger than both of us.
Yeah. He's on the Dr. Dre diet.
That dude looks amazing. Ernie Hudson.
That is insane that there's a human
that's good genetics
that has not changed in 35, 40 years.
His hair still has the same wave in it, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
That's called a lace front. I don't think
was whatever. I was like, I'll get it done tomorrow. It's good.
What is that a hair transplant?
Yeah. Well, a lace front is kind of like a wig-ish type thing. You know what I'm
Give me the
saying?
lace
But
front.
hey, look, black don't crack. We already
does.
know.
But do they take it from the back and put it in the front like white
for
people?
a lace front is more like a weave for a man.
You never go back to front. That's how you get a
Is it glue on or is it?
Yeah, it's glued. I'm not saying, look, Ernie, don't visit me in the middle of the night as a ghost. I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
He's not gonna hurt you.
Well, hey, if you do, just don't reveal who you are. But yeah, I don't know if that is or not, but I know a lot of us in our community, you don't like to show our actual rescindance.
Vanity.
So we'll put a little lace front right there real quick to make it look real.
I would do it.
I think that might be
I've
what
always
it is.
said I'd do it. If I needed hair, I'll get the.
You would do the plugs thing. You would, for real. You would just
now
dig
they
it
got
in?
it good.
Yeah, it's so good now.
It's
so good now.
I mean, Michael Scott.
Yeah.
Have you seen how good Steve?
And a lot of professional sports guys get it, and you don't even notice they get it. Wayne Rooney got it done.
Except for LeBron.
LeBron.
Why didn't he get it?
He's too big.
Did he get it?
No, I think he's too big. I've wrangled that in my mind, and I think sometimes you can be like.
He let it go too far.
He did,
because then he can't go
if
back.
If he'd gotten it younger before, like I think everybody, like when you
get it when you start it.
Before you're the GOAT, right? Before you pull your car to the GOAT.
I think there's something
parking
respectable
space.
about letting your hair do its
I agree.
do the life thing. But I also, one of the most curious names of when it comes to hair is Jamie Foxx, who I consider to be like the most talented comedian ever, just because he, won an Academy Award, he has a CD out. But he used to get made fun of because he used to say he had a 5 head, like he had like a hairline that started way up here, but now it like comes like right to like his eyebrows. We can never really determine like where his actual hairline is.
And where is he now? Because I
he's
see
doing
those
commercials.
and then
Yeah.
I'm like, those are old, aren't they?
What happened? Do you know what happened to him?
Oh yeah, Tom Cruise. He took his lady. It's been downhill ever since. You don't mess with Scientology.
Yeah, you put a poison BB in his.
Yeah.
his
You
martini.
can't mess with God of Thunder, bro.
Was it a stroke? Because that's what Mike Tyson alluded to.
Yeah, that's what Mike alluded
and that's
to.
the only real information that I've seen, at least on Facebook or whatever. It's like Mike Tyson reveals what Jamie Foxx went through. And
I bet Jamie was mad too. It sounds like Jamie likes to keep that close to the vest.
Yeah.
And I'm not real big on talking about other people's HIPAA and whatnot. I mean, that's your business.
I mean, look, man. He obviously had the funny thing was like those stories about him being cloned and he had a stroke and now he's cloned. And I love those things, man. It's like what for what? Like how are they gonna clone this man right now? I just think it's interesting that he did a movie with Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise paid him to be on his set, and he left with his wife. I can't get over that. Like Katie Holmes.
Yeah, but
they were together. This is Collateral. The movie was Collateral. Yeah, and they kept it secret and all of that. Yeah. And it's like, how do you just, I hire you to come and work with me, and you take my woman? Like, you don't recover. And it's not just any old body. We're not talking about, some random. We're talking about the god of Hollywood, basically, like Scientology. You don't mess with that, man. So yeah, whatever karma he had, but he did get Spider-Man again, so maybe something.
Yeah, so what's like? Are we gonna get him in a live action role again? He did that. What was that movie? He was good.
Project Pill or
no,
Pill?
The one. What was the one
with the Cowboys where
no, it was like a hood based
with him and Snoop, I think it was
maybe
there was something like that.
Sam and I were talking about it. I can't remember what it was, but it was like half like scary and also half serious. And then I was like, oh, is that a new role? And then everybody's like, no, he filmed that before he had his problem.
Okay,
like, something about Tyrone or
they cloned Tyrone. Was one of them. Yeah,
that was the one I'm talking about. And are we gonna get him live action again? Is he okay?
I mean, let me call him and see what he says.
I think about it all the time though, because I do agree with you. He's certainly one of the most talented. Doesn't matter what category you put him
humans
in.
that we know.
That's
Dude,
well said.
Have you heard Jamie Foxx just do impressions?
Some of the best.
He's an insanely good impressionist.
Some of the best in the world. Can sing serious, heartfelt piano ballads. Can play multiple instruments. Can drum. Can sing. Can sing and do impressions singing.
Act. He's a crazy talent.
And nobody steals a woman like Jamie Foxx.
Could you imagine Katie Holmes going from Tom Cruise to Django? I've seen it hanging upside down. That wasn't a stunt, but that was him, right?
That was him.
We didn't even know what it was.
That was him.
Yeah, I don't even understand.
You want a fun fact? That is my daughter's.
I was like, what is that? I was like, oh my God.
That's my daughter's screensaver on her iPad. It was weird. I had to turn that off. I was like, where'd you get this? She's like, Mommy's iPhone.
Oh my God. I just can't think about it like going from the dude from Top Gun to the dude from Django and Jane. Oh my God.
But they're both crazy, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
I mean, I think they're both nuts.
Different kinds.
Yeah,
of crazy.
different ends of the spectrum. Let's plug some stuff, man. You got any places you're going to be
thanks,
soon
man.
that our friends can go and support you and see
If you're out in the St. Cloud area, I'll be at Porky's next Friday and Saturday.
Dig it.
I'll also be with these two gentlemen in May, of course, at the Ritz Theater. Looking forward to that with some of my favorite comedians. I want to send a quick plug to a good friend of mine, Christy B., who just opened up her own club in Palm Coast. I had the ability, me and a couple other, James Yan and Miguel, we had a chance to do her opening night this weekend, and it's a phenomenal club. So if you're in the Palm Coast area, definitely just look up Christy B Comedy Club.
That's cool.
And I honestly think y'all should talk to Christy B. Like, she's coming up in her own lane. But
man, owning your own comedy club's got to be hard and exciting.
Yeah.
You know, we were just talking about how it seems like there are other comedy clubs, because we grew up in a time, 10 years ago, where there was just the Improv. Now it's a Funny Bone, and really that was it. And then I remember like Ross, like, hey, we could do comedy in other places, and he was like doing it at bars, but it was always hard because like you get half the people.
Bring your
like,
own PA.
And then
people wouldn't be polite.
And then it's like there's nothing like having a just exclusive comedy club that people are there to see comedy, but it seemed like
it sets the tone. You need the tone set by like it's almost got to be written so people read it as they walk in. It's like shut the hell up. You're on a comedy show. Be respectful.
So have you seen like an emergence of like individual comedy clubs?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, because when I first came into the game, Bonkers Comedy was like the big hit. If you could get in one of these Bonkers comedy rooms, then you made it. But now that hasn't.
It was all franchise like Bonkers, Funny Bone, Improv.
All of those big names. But then we realized, why do we have to do these just for the people that hire us? We can do this on our own. Now you'd end up at a coffee shop somewhere, or you got like a bar where some dude's breaking up with his girl, in public, and you're trying to like, hey, I'm trying to get this joke off. He's like, shut up, I didn't cut. And they're trying to watch the game. Yes, now as a result, enough of my class, we're now establishing our own places and doing them the way we want. And Christy B is one of those folks. And myself as well. I may have some news to announce soon, but I won't do it today.
All right. Very cool, man. Well, let us know if you need any help, because we love you and we'd love to help out.
It has to be that now, like, comedians have the way for social media to promote yourself and promote where you're going to be at. Like, you got 27,000 people on your Instagram. But I'm saying that's a big number. And now you could be like, hey, come see me at this club. Like with social media and the internet, everybody can promote themselves. So like medium-sized comedians can then use their folling to push people to.
6'2".
I'm 6'2".
You got a following.
I'm like a schmedium.
You're an under-schmedium.
Well, height-wise, he's correct.
And all of my followers are like at the border anyway. Like, I don't actually have followers like that are in Orlando. Like most of them are just just international. Because when you hit that viral video, they start following from everywhere. I wish I had a consolidated following right here in Orlando, which is why I'm here. So follow me if you're here in Orlando.
I never thought about that. That's true.
Yeah.
if you're putting content out there all the time and you're pulling from everywhere,
Yeah,
then
man.
you just almost get circled
Yeah.
by the world. But you could be sitting in the middle. I never thought about that.
It is weird. Like if you have 5,000 followers in Australia, it's like I can't really do anything with that.
That's the problem.
You gotta go to Australia.
But then
Melbourne,
Australia's a huge. But it's like that's spread across the entire country. So then you're like, me and Daniel said that for years. If our podcast just had the numbers that we do now, but they were spread across the world, we could not make a living. And it's because
so don't move. Stay right here.
Because everybody's, the majority, not everybody, because we do have listeners across the world, but the majority are in Central Florida, and that's really the difference between making a living and not.
Literally.
And
it is.
And it's crazy how much that makes a difference. And it seems like that's where everybody's kind of moving to, realizing like everything's becoming more and more local, and it's like, all right, I need followers here. Because that way
local,
I can have local sponsors.
Like when people say local, though, typically used to say like that's rinky-dink.
Yeah. Now we're going backwards.
Not.
Because it started off.
It's not that way now. It's like everything's flipped upside down. I mean, you can have people that are local that are putting in as much time or possibly more than even, massive production companies are putting in.
Yeah.
Well, the word podcast used to be rinky-dink.
Yeah,
That used to be the nothing.
Now it's just gay.
Thank you very much. By the way, check out my podcast, New Blurred Order, on the other weekend.
Yeah, it's a good show. Check it out.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, but now it's like the biggest celebrities in the world have a podcast, and like if they were on terrestrial radio, people would be like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey's on some local Kansas City.
Yeah, you're right.
They'd be like, "What are you doing?"
You may not even know who it is because you didn't seek it out.
Yeah. You don't want to see Joe Rogan on PBS.
You would be like, "What the hell is he doing? Why is he doing this?"
It would be funny to see him on there with like an antique, right? Like standing in line and just waiting.
Well, I have like what's entered my algorithm. I know we gotta go, but the Antiques Roadshow has entered my TikTok algorithm.
That's me.
And, like, is that because
me affecting your algorithm?
You would infected.
I just love that. I love it. There's nothing I love more than when the people get there and then they realize that what they have is worth nothing.
They're cutting up old shows and putting clips of the best old shows on TikTok, and it's good. Because there's a lot of content that are just buried that are now being resurfaced through TikTok, and I like having a little bit because the Antiques Roadshow, I'd never watched that, but I'd watch little clips of the best ones.
Oh, it's a good show.
Of some granny bringing in a rug that's worth $10 million or whatever. Or
I like it when they're like, get the hell out of here, granny. It's a worthless rug.
Before we go, since we're talking about old shows, did you all ever hear of a show called Lizard Lick Toe?
Lizard
Lick Toe. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Lizard Lick Toe.
Yes,
it was a
two
towing
brothers.
company.
Yes,
and they'd fake. Yes, it's one of my favorite shows.
I need that to resurface.
Well, you phrased it wrong. It's Lizard Lick Toe.
No, not Lizard Lick Toe. Like you. Oh, Tommy.
No. You phrased it like Lizard Lick Toe, but it's Lizard Lick Toe.
Yeah, Lizard Lick Towing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so there were these like two brothers, and then they would fight. They'd always get it. And then they'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go around the back and get in the car, and then the guy would get in the car. He's like, oh God, go.
Yes.
And then they'll.
But it's all fake.
It's all fake.
It's so fake, but it's so fun. You gotta.
And then they have like the sassy reception.
Right.
Yeah, man.
But they putting clips of bad shows on TikTok, which is great too, because these shows would never ever be seen again, but now they resurface, especially during the height of reality, which they were putting out so much garbage.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, they were trying to like find that stuff and put it back out there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
man.
hey, thanks so much for coming in, man.
Nah, thank y'all for having me.
We appreciate
always,
it.
man.
Vince Taylor, everybody.
Follow him on social.
Follow me.
The Real Vince Taylor.
The Real Vince Taylor.
Yeah.
There you go.
And get some tickets for our show coming up in May 31st. He'll be there.
All right. And we will be right back.
Yep.
Awesome. That was funny.
Those were legit.
Are we done recording?
Yeah, that's it.
Guys, I'm just going to shut this off so I can get it.